where over 20,000 people created an electric atmosphere, most of them committed to the thought that it might just be possible for informed Coventry to stop Liverpool running away with the league. Your commentator, John Motson.
Ian Rush has 19 goals this season for Liverpool and Wales, and if he can't get his 20th today on a ground where Liverpool have failed to score on 7 of their last 8 league visits, then his fellow countrymen hope he will do so at Cardiff next Wednesday to send Wales to the European Championship finals. Either way, Rush has to beat a Yugoslav goalkeeper, because Coventry have recalled Radi Avramovic in preference to Perry Suckling, even though they're unbeaten in the 4 league games Avramovic has missed. There's also a return for transfer-listed Jerry Daly, who's been out of the side for over 2 months. He's in midfield because Steve Hunt is suspended and Ashley Grimes injured. Liverpool welcome back Kenny Dalglish, who's missed the last 2 matches with injury. He replaces Michael Robinson, who's out until the new year after an ankle operation. The selection of Ronnie Whelan has brought a transfer request from Craig Johnston, who is dropped to substitute. This afternoon's referee is David Letts of Aldershot. Coventry start the match 6 points behind Liverpool. The incentive, obviously, from their point of view, to reduce that gap to 3, although Coventry have played better away from home than at home in their good spell. They're in the sky blue, and here's Kenny Dalglish with some wintry sunshine creeping through the clouds here. Coventry's free kick to be taken by Stuart Pearce, who was playing in the Alliance League just a couple of months back. Looking for the tall figure of Dave Bamber, number 9. Little Gibson is there. And a good effort. And Gravard didn't hold it. And he held the second one. He didn't. It's there. And Platnauer got in to score. Grobbelaar in despair. Terry Gibson caused the first concern. Grobbelaar didn't hold his shot. In came Nicky Platnauer. Got a jab on it. It hit the goalkeeper and it rolled. Yes, he went his head to it as well. Over the line. 40 seconds is the time of the goal. And Nicky Platnauer, 22 years old, who came here from Bristol Rovers following the manager Bobby Gould, is the scorer. What a start then for Coventry. It's Platnauer's 4th goal of the season. And the blame is surely to be apportioned to the unfortunate Bruce Grobbelaar. They caught him cold. Pearce. Bamber is offside. Gin. Roberts. The runner is Sammy Lee through the centre, and Allardyce has to be aware of him, and he was. Terry Gibson goes down and a challenge from Ronnie Whelan. Free kick. Daly to take. Bamber is coming in now. It's a good header. Oh, he's hit the frame of the goal. A fine effort by Dave Bamber. Whelan, Dalglish, Nicol. Phil Neal pressed forward well there. Wasn't quite found, but here's Nicol. Lee. An interception there by Daly. Neal. Dalglish. Arms round the waist a little there. The referee has played a good advantage in Jerry Daly, and they've beaten the offside track with David Bennett. There are three the other way for Coventry. And Bennett may go again. And Gibson off the post and in by little Terry Gibson. 2-0 to Coventry. And what a start they've made here. Bennett made the running, Gibson turned it on, and Liverpool saw the ball go back in off their post and can only reflect again that the square line defence can be punctured if you play the right ball and beat the line at the right time. That's what Coventry did, and they've reaped the benefit. 19 minutes gone, 2-0. And Gibson actually only the fourth striker to score against Liverpool this season in open play. Most of the goals against them have come from penalties or midfield players. But he took that one well. Well, what a good run by Bennett initially. He took them on and he appeared to have lost control at one point in it, but he kept possession. A little bit of luck there maybe, but you need that. But how well Gibson finished it all off, and Liverpool, frankly, was standing watching. Well, it set the match up beautifully, that, because Liverpool now have got to survive the storm and then come out and produce championship football to get back into the game. And Souness. Dalglish, he's found a gap here. And was brought down by Platnau, was he? No, corner. Graham Souness made a forceful appeal to the referee as Dalglish went down. Platnau was the defender. The referee decided he went for the ball. Lee with the corner. And Rush. Oh, and Dalglish doesn't often miss from there. Hit it well enough. Liverpool don't score many goals from corners, but Rush flicked that on, and Dalglish was too high. But a warning to Coventry that there's a long, long way to go. Forward by Jerry Daly, who's relishing the recall. Been on the transfer list for quite a while, but he's got a chance to rise to the occasion today, as indeed have all these Coventry lads. And so far, they've grabbed it with both hands. Good stuff. Neal. Here's Sammy Lee. Souness. Neal's up again. And there are four waiting in the centre for Liverpool. And the goalkeeper, stretching a bit, did the right thing. He wouldn't have caught it. Michael Ginn looking for Bennett. Coventry have got Bamba watching Neal, but the mistake was further forward, and here's Rush, and he can finish, but he's not going to have that goal allowed. He was offside. The flag was up on the far side fairly firmly and fairly quickly as Sammy Lee put the ball through, and Ian Rush thought he'd made it 20 goals this season, but turned round to find that it was a free kick instead. offside. Roberts. Bennett takes on Hansen this time, and he gets round again, although Bennett has actually taken the outside route against Kennedy and Hansen, and he's profited from it several times. He forced a corner there, which Gin will take. And Bamba is forward, and Gibson shot, and number 3. Grobbelaar stands and wonders what's happened here. And what has happened is that Liverpool are 3 goals down. And Terry Gibson, twisting and turning, might have got a deflection off Sammy Lee, but Grobbelaar didn't do all that well either. And Gibson has scored 2. Right on half-time. Look at those supporters. They can't believe this. Highfield Road buzzing as the champions get taken apart. Grobbelaar made a present of the first goal to Nicky Platnauer in the first minute. Terry Gibson came along with 2 more, and Coventry City, nearly relegated last season, but now with a new team, leave the field to a standing ovation. I was talking to Bobby Gould this morning about Liverpool only conceding 14 goals in 26 matches this season before today. Now his Coventry side have put 3 past them in 45 minutes, which must have stung Liverpool's pride. But I wonder if Gibson and company can sustain their momentum in this second half. Bamba is the man on the far side. Back in again by Gin, offside against Gibson. And Bamba. Little Gibson trying to get inside, but Lawrenson's ball. Well forward. Dalglish. Little chip in, and Nicol was stealing in on this side. It's Souness with the shot. Gibson. Oh, that's well played. And Terry Gibson, is it his hat-trick? Oh, Grobbelaar made a fine save. That'll make up perhaps for 1 or 2 of the earlier ones, but Terry Gibson must have thought he was on for his hat-trick, and not many people get those against Liverpool. He did the right thing, he tried to clear the advanced goalkeeper, but Grobbelaar so athletic there. Corner to Coventry. And a flick on the near post, always a good ploy when you've got Allardyce in the side. Here's Rush to Lee. Good tackle by Pearce, and they're away again. Platnauer. Well, that would have been a better ball had he played in the first division, maybe a little bit longer. There was a little anxiety creeping in there from a lad who really at the beginning of the season, couldn't have dreamed he'd be on the same pitch as Kenny Dalglish. Souness. Well, the important thing from Coventry's angle was not to allow Liverpool back into the match the way teams have in the past. They haven't so far, but Liverpool are still coming forward with Kennedy. Souness. Hansen. It's Kennedy's cross was just a flick by Pearce, took it away from Steve Nicol. Fiercely driven by Alan Kennedy. Here's Nicol and Lee and Nicol again. Good ball, Dalglish. Crossed that well, but Peake also responded. Here's Lee. And again Nicol well forward here for Liverpool. Back heel to Dalglish, side netting. Good build-up play by Steve Nicol. Bamba, Gibson, oh that's good football. Bennett. Bamba might make something of it yet. Platnauer! If only every team would use a winger and get the ball wide the way Dave Bennett has gone wide for Coventry today, football would be a lot better to watch at times. They've used the width. He got a poorish cross it looked at first, but Bamba made something of it. Platnauer just the wrong side of the post for Coventry. Here's Sammy Lee. Test for Pearce when the ball's played into that area, but he's withstood it well. Neil with the header back. And Gibson has beaten Neil. Is it on here for number 4? Gin and Bamba to his right, and Gibson has completed a hat-trick. What a marvellous day for Terry Gibson and for the supporters. Bobby Gould on his feet, but so are plenty of people in the ground. 6 minutes from the end, Coventry have made it 4. Bobby Gould is concerned about the pitch invasion, and he's right about that. But Gibson has made a contribution here against the league champions that he will never ever forget. Came to Coventry from Spurs, only 5'5", but when he beat Phil Neal there, he had 2 choices. Does he pass to his right, or does he go on himself? He curled it round Grobbelaar, in off the post. It's 3 goals for Terry Gibson, which makes it 11 now for him this season. But more important, it's 4 for Coventry, and Liverpool in danger of suffering their worst defeat for some time. I can recall a 5-1 at Aston Villa back in 76, I think it was. But they don't often concede that many goals, and they're 4 down here. Gibson's up there again. He's even testing the taller men in the air now. Here's Kennedy. Oh, good ball, Whelan. And Kennedy for Liverpool. Shot blocked by Bennett. Substitution by Coventry City. Dave Bamba is going off. And as he gets the applause, the man coming on is Graham Withy, former Bristol Rovers player. And Withy's first touch is to clear the corner. This is Nicol for Liverpool, foul by Withy. Having just come on, protests. But anything Liverpool get now will be merely a consolation. Souness to drive and rush to pounce. No, Pearce was there. And the referee has awarded a goal kick. Withy. One of the most dramatic afternoons and results of the season so far in the First Division, as the champions and leaders go down 4-0 with Terry Gibson scoring a hat-trick for Coventry City, whose recently assembled, fast-improving side, put together by Bobby Gould, show that they mean business in Division 1 and that their form this season is no fluke. 3 up at half-time, conclusive winners. They'll remember this day at Highfield Road for some time to come. Coventry City 4, Liverpool 0.
And they deserve to. The Coventry lads did themselves a favour and the whole of the league at the same time by proving that if you've got the enthusiasm and the will to win, never mind where you come from, you can beat the very best. To win was most creditable. To annihilate Liverpool, remarkable and mind-blowing for the little man who rubbed salt into their wounds, Terry Gibson.
What was the mood actually in the Coventry dressing room before you came out?
The team spirit has been, fabulous since the first game. But today, it was that extra special. I think there was a lot of people here, and the ground was full up, and there's people walking around the offices, and the photographers and cameramen. So, and we was playing Liverpool, so it's a special day for us really. And we were just pleased everything went right, with the crowd being as big as it was and the cameras being here. We're just pleased everything went right.
So what you're really saying is that special atmosphere for an occasion like this got through to the team?
Yeah, I think we came out first 5 minutes and we scored, and I think it's the best we've played at home this season, and it just shows the best we've played, and it's against Liverpool, so we couldn't have picked a better team.
Nicky Platt now got the first goal. You then proceeded to score the next 3, and our viewers have enjoyed them tonight. What do you remember about them?
I think it was Dave Bennett went through and he got tackled and the ball ran to me and I just got a toe poke to it. And for the second one, Dave Bamber got up and nodded it down, and I turned and whacked it. And the third one, it was 2 Liverpool players went for the same ball, and it bounced through, and I just had the goalie to beat, and just slipped it past me as it came out.
Terrific day for you, holding the match ball there, and rightly so. Were any of your family here to see it?
Yeah, my mum, dad, and my wife and my little sister were here. So it's the first hat-trick I've scored in the first team, so they'll all be pleased. So I just got to get the ball signed now. I haven't got it signed. I didn't know what to do with it.
You seem to know what to do with it to me. Well, we can't leave that match without a word from the Sky Blues' new messiah, Bobby Gould, who I signed on as a 16-year-old apprentice for Coventry after he'd been previously rejected. But my goodness, he's a hero now and reveals a little of his philosophy.
I'm a forward, always have been a forward, and I'm a great believer that you've got to put the ball as forward as quickly as you possibly can. And that's what we've done. I thought the front 2 played magnificently today, David Bamber and Terry Gibson. But in saying that, it was a great team performance.
Having been a forward yourself, what sort of advice did you give, say, Bamber and Gibson today? Because they did unsettle the Liverpool defence, didn't they?
I'm not telling you, John. Because we've worked hard at special things at Coventry and also at Bristol Rovers last year, and I think it produces a lot of attacking play, and we're going to keep working at what we believe in.
What a marvellous day for Bobby and Coventry. But there's more excitement to come as we go to Upton Park for the derby game between West Ham and Arsenal. A special fixture for all sorts of reasons, but particularly for one Arsenal player, as Barry Davies explains.
This is a day that Dave Madden has looked forward to from a very early age. A season ticket holder and a schoolboy player at West Ham, he finally achieves his ambition of playing in the first team at Upton Park. But he's playing for Arsenal. So there are divided loyalties among the rest of the family sitting up in the stand, his sister, his mother and his father. And young Madden also finds that his boyhood hero, Trevor Brooking, is playing for the opposition. It's the West Ham line-out this afternoon which welcomes back Alan Devonshire, fit again after missing the League Cup defeat at Everton. Madden is one of 2 20-year-olds in the Arsenal midfield, the other one being John Kay. And injuries are running side by side with the recent disappointing results. Colin Hill moves to full-back in place of the injured Stuart Robson, and Chris White is recalled to the centre of the defence alongside the new purchase Tommy Caton. man in charge this afternoon is Bristolian Eric Reid. It's a crisp, bright afternoon, and a few aspirations blowing in, just a light wind. And both sides looking for restoration of faith after disappointing results in the last fortnight. West Ham attacking the goal to the left, and here in a bit of space is Trevor Brooking. Devonshire goes on ahead, leaving Frank Lampard behind. Came off the head of White. Plenty of room and time for the shot. And it was going for the top corner, though I suspect that Pat Jennings would have claimed it comfortably enough if the head of White had not intervened. Steve Walford has come forward. Finds Whitten in front of him, but that's no problem. Charlie Nicholas. Woodcock having a bit of a battle with Alvin Martin. The verdict against Martin for a bit of holding up. Davies and Madden on the ball. Paul Davies celebrated his 22nd birthday yesterday. Madden may well have a crack here, and he's going to. Oh, it's not a bad one either, but it seemed to gain a bit of height rather late. I think Madden thought it was deflected. It certainly rose quite late. Away by White. Addinson. Whitten. That's a good try. A lot of power in that. It was a good 20-yarder, and he really thumped it. And Pat Jennings had to adjust his position a little bit, and also, I suspect, adjust his weight a bit too. White. Minutes briskly gone. It's the first London derby of the season at Upton Park. And it's their last match before Christmas at home for West Ham. Well, he'll obviously be able to do it from a wheelchair when he packs up. Whitten. Oh, I say. Well, I think Dave Madden didn't know which way Steve Whitten was turning, but he made sure he didn't turn either way. Swindlehurst! Well, he was comfortably wide of the mark from Pat Jennings' viewpoint, but a lesson there shortly for Chris White, who allowed Swindlehurst to get in front of him. Sansom. Madden. Davies. Allinson. That's a good ball. Came from Nicholas. Sansom. Certainly the best attack that Arsenal have built. And ending with Kenny Sansom having a shot with the right foot. Didn't quite find the power that he might have wished for. O'Neill and Don Howe have seen their side slip from 8th from the top to 8th from the bottom in the space of 6 weeks. Stuart Robson and Graham Ricks just behind them. Stewart. Whitten. Swindlehurst. Pike. Whistle against Madden, whose challenge on Orr was a bit late. Just took a bit of a flick at him. Stewart, Swindlehurst coming in at the back, and turned in on the far side by Trevor Brooking. Well, that is a bit of a collector's item from Trevor Brooking, because not only was it a header, but it was a diving header when he ended in a fully prone position. And I don't think there have been too many of those during the course of his career. Swindlehurst on the far post from the kicker's viewpoint, heading across the goal where Brooking met it, going down from all fours to flat down. 1-0 to West Ham, and it's been on the cards almost since the game started. In fact, the only surprise is it's taken so long in coming. Woodcock, and Brooking, the defender. And Swindlehurst having a real go at Kay, and he's being very silly. It certainly was an unpleasing challenge, to put it mildly, but that sort of reaction does Swindlehurst no good at all. And Kay is still moving towards the centre of the field. Whether he's going to go all the way or not, I'm honestly not sure, but I think he is. The days of the red cards when everybody knew what was happening are of course past, but there's no doubt now surely that John Kay has been sent off, and I think Swindlehurst is going too. John Kay has definitely gone. Swindlehurst walking disconsolately towards the touchline, and he must be really furious with himself for reacting so much to what was clearly a nasty foul. But Swindlehurst has got himself sent off because he wasn't able to keep his temper. Caton's headed clearance. It's to be hoped that the 20 players left on the field will keep their heads. By White. But the crowd are now really adding to the tempo of the match. Here's Devonshire. Maybe it's as well for the match that that went wide and there is a moment of respite. But the fury of the crowd certainly suddenly increased the pace of the match. John Lyle, the West Ham manager, not batting an eyelid. The 20 players go to join the other two in the dressing room, with West Ham holding a 1-0 lead. The goal scored by Trevor Brooking. But the irony of the double sending off of John Kay and Dave Swindlehurst is that on the balance of play to that point, certainly, it's West Ham who've lost the more effective player. Interesting to see whether West Ham can quickly recover the poise, and they certainly lost after losing their centre forward, he having played a vital part in the only goal. Nicholas Allinson, he's got two to do. Devonshire. Cleanly past Madden. Taken hit out of the play as well. Brooking. Good save. Really good save. But he's had more chances in this match than in many a month of football as Trevor Brooking. Didn't quite get the power then, but Pat Jennings got the big right hand behind the ball. Brooking once more in the role of front player. Or the Devonshire. Really one man to beat. Yes! And I think it went in off Chris White. Well, once he'd taken on the fullback, Alan Devonshire, he really was in with the shooting chance, and Chris White trying to cover, put it past Pat Jennings. It's going to be Colin Hill, the Irishman, who's going off. And he's to be replaced by Raphael Mead. So West Ham, 2 goals to the good. The first by Brooking, the second an own goal by White. Woodcock, Nicholas. Devonshire. There's David O'Leary, one of the Arsenal players on the injured list. Stuart Robson behind him. Graham Ricks, when things aren't going your way. As Terry Neal must be reflecting with his coach John Howe. Everything goes wrong at the same time. Caden. Free kick given for obstruction. His Arsenal career starting with, well, 2 defeats in which he's played, and one crucially on the night before he actually signed. That'll be the best of starts. Stewart with a free kick. Martin. Oh, brilliantly tipped over from Steve Walford. Pat Jennings denying his former colleague Steve Walford, seeming to give a signal of recognition of the man's talents. Walford, who played 77 league games for Arsenal. Martin coming in again, out by Mead. Pike or White. Whitten, lost out to Caton. Allinson. Davies. Woodcock. Mead. Woodcock. Sansom. That's not a good header by Martin. Davies! What a superb strike of the ball. I must say it's one of the few consolations for Terry Neal and Don Howe must be that if they could get the balance of this side right, the talents of people like Davies in midfield and Woodcock up front would surely give them something to produce a real side from. And the crowd watching another West Ham victory, 25,118. Devonshire. Brooking trying to tee it up and does. Whitten, and here is Pike. Yes, number 3. And Pike utterly delighted. Trevor Brooking creating the chance, teeing the ball up to flick it over his head. And for the record, the only cameras which would have captured that goal belong to BBC Television, because all the press photographers have already gone, presumably to take photographs of Terry Neal after another Arsenal defeat. Woodcock. One by Davis. He's had a good match as Paul Davis. Mead. across, and it wasn't a good clearance either. White. And White, at least, has managed to chalk off the goal that he conceded at the other end. But a goal it is. And it's White and not Woodcock who has the consolation. But that is the final action of the match, in which West Ham for long periods outclassed Arsenal, it has to be said, a patchwork Arsenal albeit. Trevor Brooking, some delightful moments from him, including the first goal. An own goal by White gave West Ham a 2-0 lead. Pike seemed to have made it decisive at 3-0, and decisive indeed it was, but at least Chris White had the consolation of getting a goal right at the death. Final score, West Ham 3, Arsenal 1.
Well, more misery for Arsenal there, but it's impossible really to judge their prospects for a revival until the injury situation improves. For West Ham, it was a treat to see Trevor Brooking provide special moments to enjoy and deservedly collect 3 points to keep his and West Ham's title ambitions very much alive. And I commend referee Eric Reid's decision to send off John Kay for a discernible, late and dangerously high tackle, and regret that Dave Swindlehurst's reaction to it, although understandable in some ways, was not excusable and meant he had to go too. All such violence should be dealt with as firmly. Bob.
That win by West Ham keeps them in second place, and they've cut Liverpool's lead to just 1 point. They stay ahead of Manchester United on goal difference, and Coventry move into fourth place above 4 teams on 29 points. We've seen 3 of the top 4 in action. Elsewhere, Garth Crooks, on loan from Spurs, scored his first goal for Manchester United in their 2-0 win at Ipswich. Greg Downs got the goal that beat Birmingham and gave Norwich their 6th win in a row, while Paul Walsh scored a hat-trick as Luton won 4-2 at Stoke. The 3rd hat-trick in Division 1 today was claimed by Alan Smith in Leicester's 5-1 thrashing of bottom club Wolves. At the bottom, there's no change despite wins for Leicester, Watford and Notts County, and defeats for Wolves, Stoke and Birmingham. A sharp attack tonight on England centre-forward Paul Mariner by his Ipswich manager Bobby Ferguson. After Ipswich's 2-0 home defeat by Manchester United today, Ferguson said, "Mariner had a very poor game and I'm looking at him closely. Mariner is on the transfer list at his own request," and Ferguson added somewhat pointedly, "This transfer business is affecting him, but that's his problem. He must sort himself out." On the international front, no reported injuries for Wales before their decisive European Championship match against Yugoslavia on Wednesday. But Steve Archibald of Spurs, Charlie Nicholas of Arsenal and Kenny Dalglish of Liverpool are all out of Scotland's squad against Northern Ireland. In Division 2, a 40,000 crowd at Main Road saw Imre Varadi score twice as leaders Sheffield Wednesday came back to win 2-1 against Manchester City. And a near 26,000 gate saw Newcastle beat Huddersfield 5-2 with Kevin Keegan getting his 14th goal of the season. Newcastle move into 3rd place, 3 points behind Chelsea, who drew at Barnsley. In the FA Cup, only one non-league side are definitely through to the 3rd round. Maidstone United, who beat another Alliance Premier League side, Worcester City, 3-2. There was no real giant killing, but FA trophy holders, Telford United, almost pulled off a shock, drawing 1-1 at Northampton. Altrincham drew at Darlington, and Bangor City earned a replay with Blackpool. Let's now have a check on the FA Cup replay dates, but first the 2 rearranged matches, both on Tuesday. That's Windsor and Eton against Bournemouth and York versus Rochdale. Now the replays: on Monday, Altrincham versus Darlington. On Tuesday, Blackpool against Bangor. On Wednesday, Oxford versus Reading and Telford against Northampton. Then a week on Monday, Burnley versus Chesterfield and Sheffield United against Lincoln. Now the full draw for the 3rd round. Huddersfield versus Queen's Park Rangers. Windsor and Eton or Bournemouth with that dream tie against cup holders Manchester United. Colchester versus Charlton. West Ham against Wigan. Fulham versus Tottenham in a London derby, and Coventry against Wolves in a Midlands derby. Aston Villa will play Norwich. They also meet in the Milk Cup quarter-finals. Carlisle against Swindon. Darlington or Altrincham at home to Maidstone, and that's a disappointment for the only non-league side definitely through so far. Middlesbrough versus Arsenal. They met in the 5th round last season. Stoke will play Everton. Gillingham against Brentford. Bangor or Blackpool versus Manchester City. Liverpool take on Newcastle, and 2 old boys, Kevin Keegan and Terry McDermott. Some tie that. Blackburn versus Chelsea. Rotherham meet West Bromwich Albion. York or Rochdale against Northampton or Telford. Crystal Palace play Leicester. Lincoln or Sheffield United face Birmingham. Chesterfield or Burnley play Reading or Oxford. Nottingham Forest take on Southampton and former keeper Peter Shilton. Plymouth play Newport. Cardiff meet Ipswich. Brighton, last season's beaten finalists, start against Swansea. Shrewsbury play Oldham. Cambridge meet Derby. Leeds face Scunthorpe, but unlike today, without Ian Botham, who'll be cricketing with England. Bolton are at home to Sunderland. Portsmouth meet Grimsby. Luton have a local derby against Watford. Notts County versus Bristol City. And Sheffield Wednesday against Barnsley, a Yorkshire derby. Manchester United, the FA Cup holders, are favourites to retain the trophy this season. One leading bookmaker has them at 6-1, with Liverpool second favourites at 7-1. The other betting, 9-1 Tottenham, 12-1 West Ham, 14-1 Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest, 18-1 Arsenal and Coventry City, 20-1 bar those. Finally, good reason to check your pool's coupons carefully tonight. Christmas could come early if you've got the 9 score draws. Claimed by telephone for 24 points. The dividend forecast, very good. The numbers 3, 21, 25, 27, 28, 31, 35, 40 and 48.
Well, that's all for tonight, but a good sporting week coming up. Tomorrow night, don't miss the Sports Review of the Year at 8:40. On Wednesday, in Sports Night, you'll see highlights of the most important game in years for Wales. They need to beat Yugoslavia to become the only British team to qualify for the finals of the European Championships. On Friday night, the first live Canon League match ever on BBC television. Manchester United versus Tottenham. Join us at 7:05. Now I'm off to join the audience for Jasper Carrott's last show, but not before I've enjoyed once more the match-winning hat-trick scored by Terry Gibson for Coventry City to bring belief and excitement to that city once again and become the first player since Keith Weller for Leicester to score a hat-trick against Liverpool just 11 years ago. Good night.
And Bennett may go again, and Gibson off the post and in. And Bamber is forward, and Gibson shot, and Gibson has scored 2. And Gibson has beaten Neil. Is it on here for number 4? Gin and Bamber to his right, and Gibson has completed a hat-trick.